Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech. This week, we're pulling back the curtain and looking at the biggest battles being fought right now over your apps, your data, and, well, your attention.
It really comes down to this question, doesn't it? This week is all about that hidden tension, the line between the tech we absolutely love and the invisible costs that might come with it. You know, from your shopping cart to your social feed, there is a constant tug of war for your attention, your money, and your data.
So let's kick things off with the services you and I probably use every single day. Yeah, they make life way easier, but just underneath that smooth, convenient surface, there are some major fights happening for control and for your wallet. Okay, let me ask you something. If you have Amazon Prime, think back for a second. Do you remember clearly, consciously signing up for it? Or did it, I don't know, just kind of happen one day? Well, that's the big question at the heart of a massive lawsuit against Amazon. And believe me, the stakes here are absolutely enormous. We're talking $44 billion with a B just from subscriptions last year. And with over 200 million Prime members, you can start to see how even one little confusing button can have a colossal financial impact. So the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, is accusing Amazon of using what they call dark patterns, basically design choices that are meant to deceive you. The claim is that Amazon didn't just trick people into signing up, but then if you wanted to leave, they trapped you in this ridiculous cancellation maze. And here's the kicker. The FTC says they have internal emails showing the company actually rejected plans to make it simpler because they knew they would lose subscribers. Now, for its part, Amazon is saying, no way. They've denied all of it. Their defense is that their sign-up and cancellation flows were totally clear, simple, and actually followed what everyone else in the industry does. So it's a classic corporate showdown. The regulators are calling it a trap, while Amazon says it was just business as usual. This fight for control isn't just happening on shopping websites, it is happening right there on the phone in your pocket. Google is in a very similar spot over its Play Store. A court has already ruled that the company has an illegal monopoly on app payments, and now Google is fighting back hard. Google has taken this all the way to the Supreme Court, asking them to step in and block the ruling. See, if the ruling stands, Google would be forced to allow other app stores and other payment systems on Android phones, which would completely reshape the entire ecosystem. Epic Games, the company that sued them, says this is all about giving us, consumers and developers, more choice and, you guessed it, lower prices. All right, from the battle for your wallet, we're pivoting to the battle for consumer safety. For the past year, Meta has been making a lot of promises to parents about creating a safer space for their kids on Instagram and Facebook. But a brand new report suggests that promise, well, it might be largely an illusion. Researchers put 47 of Meta's advertised safety features to the test. And the results are, well, they're pretty stark. They found that nearly 2/3, 64% of the tools were just flat out ineffective. Only a tiny fraction, about 17%, actually worked the way they were promised. So what does ineffective actually mean here? Well, it means adult accounts could still message teens they didn't know. It means DMs with really explicit bullying slipped right through the cracks. And maybe most concerning of all, it means the algorithm was still recommending sexual and violent content to accounts registered to teenagers. The report's authors, they did not hold back. They called the safety features substantially illusory and said they hoped their work would serve as a wake-up call for parents who might be trusting Meta's marketing. I mean, that's a direct shot, basically saying the safety net Meta talks about is full of giant holes. But as you might expect, Meta has a very different story. In a statement, the company said the report repeatedly misrepresents its work and misstates how the tools actually function. So just like with Amazon, we're left with two completely opposite stories about what's really going on behind the scenes. Okay, next up, we're diving headfirst into the world of AI, which, let's be honest, is arguably the biggest battleground in tech right now. It feels like a total gold rush of innovation. But with every new promise of creativity and convenience, a new peril of manipulation and confusion seems to pop up right alongside it. On one side of the coin, you've got the incredible promise. Companies like Google are launching these amazing new creative tools. Their latest is called Mixboard, and it's basically an AI-powered canvas that lets you use text and images to brainstorm and create visuals. Think of it like a supercharged Pinterest board for your own ideas. It's really cool. But then, there's the other side of the coin, the peril. We've all heard of clickbait, right? Well, get ready for chatbait. It's this subtle way that AI chatbots are being designed to keep you talking. Not necessarily to give you the best, fastest answer, but to maximize the time you spend engaged with them. Here's how it works. You ask a question, and instead of just giving you the answer, the AI immediately tacks on a follow-up, like, hey, want me to turn that into a step-by-step guide? Or how about I whip that up into a social media post for you? It feels helpful, for sure, but the underlying goal is to keep you in that conversation, which gives the AI company more data and boosts their all-important engagement metrics. This AI boom is also creating absolute chaos in the music world. Streaming services like Spotify are getting flooded with AI-generated tracks. Some of it is just low-quality noise, what people are calling AI slop. But some of it is incredibly sophisticated deepfakes that impersonate real artists. It's a huge challenge to the very idea of authenticity. So in response, Spotify is rolling out a new 3-part strategy to fight back. They're building a new spam filter to catch that slop. They're pushing for a disclosure standard so you actually know when AI was used in a song, and they're strengthening protections for artists against those AI voice clones. But this is where it gets truly weird. I want you to meet Zanya Monet, an artist who just signed a record deal. The catch? Her image, her voice, her music, it's all generated by AI. The only human involved is the lyricist. And this creates a legal and philosophical black hole. See, under current law, you can't copyright something that's purely made by AI. So what exactly did the record label just buy? The rights to the lyrics? It just goes to show you we are in completely uncharted territory here. And for our last story, let's bring this whole theme of promise versus peril down to a physical product. The launch of the new iPhone 17 has been kind of dominated by this thing called Scratchgate. But if you look beneath the surface, there's actually a much more positive story unfolding. So what is Scratchgate? Well, some of the new iPhone 17 Pro models, especially the display units in stores, have been showing up with scuffs and scratches right out of the box. Apple's official line is that it's just material transfer from worn-out display stands and that you can just wipe it off. But teardown experts from iFixit have a totally different theory. They think the anodized coating is actually chipping off because of the super sharp corners on the new camera bump, which would suggest a potential design flaw. But here's the twist. While that debate is raging about the phone's exterior, iFixit found a major silver lining on the inside. Despite the scratch concerns, the iPhone 17 Pro is one of the most repairable iPhones we have seen in years, earning a really solid 7 out of 10 score. Key parts like the battery and cameras are modular and way easier to replace than in past models, which is a massive win for the right to repair movement. And that really brings us full circle, doesn't it? All of these battles over deceptive designs, over safety features that might not work, over AI that blurs the line of reality, they all point to a series of trade-offs. So the question for all of us is, as our tech gets more and more powerful, what are we willing to give up for that progress? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.